Haley said like one song before that she was gonna push me on stage for One Less Lonely Girl. It's just I can't even talk about it. So my legs gave out is what happened.
Yeah, it was actually very sweet. Not
also, nobody watched me on. They were just like, all right, go on your own.
You didn't know on the day. They just told you one song before.
I had a suspicion because I'd heard something, and then Haley and Justin's friend was standing next to me in the pit, and he may have spoiled it a little. He goes like, "So, are you gonna go up?" And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He said, for One Less Lonely Girl. And I had to just decide that was like, it was a life-changing dream that me and everyone wanted to live, and I can't actually believe that I lived it. I can't even think about it. I can't even talk. I can't even look at the videos. It's like too intense for me.
The desert air at Coachella has a way of turning whispers into legends. 1 minute, it's just bass line floating over the sand. The next, it's a story everyone swears in the air. Justin Bieber wasn't even officially billed as a headliner that night, which only made his appearance feel like a surprise gift wrapped in bass drops and nostalgia. When he stepped onto the stage, the crowd surged forward, phones lifted like constellations trying to capture lightning. From the outside, it looked effortless. Justin moved through his set with a mix of polished confidence and flashes of something more raw, more human. But according to Billie, who was watching from a vantage point that most fans could only dream of, there was an entirely different energy humming beneath the surface. He wasn't just performing. Billie reportedly shared in a candid conversation that's now rippling across fan circles. He was processing something. You could feel it. That's the thing about artists watching artists. They notice the micro-expressions, the half-second pauses, the way a voice bends not just from technique, but from emotion. Billie, who has built her own career on emotional honesty and atmospheric vulnerability, seemed to recognize something familiar in Justin that night. The phones lowered. It was as if thousands of people collectively leaned in, not to capture a performance, but to witness a feeling. It got really quiet, Billie said. Not silent, but respectful. Like everyone knew they were inside something real. That kind of moment is rare at a festival known for spectacle. Coachella thrives on big visuals, surprise guests, and viral moments engineered for the algorithm. But what Billie witnessed, and what she now hints at, was something less manufactured and more organic. A crack in the polished surface where authenticity slipped through. Of course, the internet had its own interpretation. Clips from the set spread like wildfire, dissected frame by frame. Some fans speculated about Justin's energy, others praised his vocals, and a few tried to read deeper meaning into every gesture. But as usual, the online narrative flattened something that was, in reality, much more nuanced. Billie's perspective adds dimension. She wasn't watching through a screen or interpreting a 15-second clip. She was there, immersed in the same sound waves, breathing the same charged air. And then there's the relationship between Billie and Justin themselves, a dynamic that adds another layer to the story. Billie has never hidden her admiration for Justin. In fact, she's spoken openly about being a fan long before she became a global phenomenon in her own right. Their interactions over the years have carried a kind of full-circle magic. The fan who became a peer, the idol who became a collaborator in shared cultural space. So when Billie talks about Justin, it doesn't come from a place of detached commentary. There's history there, respect, maybe even a quiet understanding of what it means to grow up in front of millions. That understanding seemed to shape how she interpreted his Coachella set. Rather than framing it as a flawless performance or a problematic one, she painted it as something more human. A moment of expression that didn't fit neatly into categories. And perhaps that's what resonated most. Because behind the headlines, behind the viral clips and speculative tweets, there's a deeper truth about artists like Billie and Justin. They exist in a space where every moment is amplified, every emotion scrutinized. Performing isn't just about hitting notes or executing choreography, it's about navigating a complex emotional landscape while the world watches. Billie hinted that after the set, there was a shift backstage too. The energy wasn't chaotic or celebratory in the typical festival sense. It was calmer, almost introspective. Conversations felt quieter. People seemed to carry the weight of what they had just experienced, even if they couldn't fully articulate it. It lingered, she said. That's the best way I can explain it. It didn't just end when the music stopped. That lingering feeling is something fans often chase without realizing it. It's what turns a good performance into a memorable one. It's what makes people replay moments in their minds long after the lights go down. And it's also what makes stories like this so compelling. Because in a world saturated with content, genuine moments stand out like rare gems in a sea of glitter. Billie's account doesn't rely on shock value or manufactured drama. Instead, it invites listeners to look closer, to reconsider what they think they saw. Was Justin struggling? Was he evolving? Was he simply being present in a way that felt unfamiliar to an audience used to polish perfection? The answer, if Billie's words are any indication, is probably a mix of all three. There's also something poetic about the setting itself. Coachella, with its sprawling desert landscape and surreal atmosphere, has always been a place where reality feels slightly tilted. It's a stage not just for performances, but for transformations. Artists reinvent themselves there. Moments take on mythic proportions. And in that environment, even a subtle shift in energy can feel monumental. Billie's perspective captures that perfectly. She doesn't frame the night as a scandal or a spectacle. Instead, she treats it like a snapshot of something fleeting and meaningful, a reminder that even in the most commercialized spaces, authenticity can still break through. For fans, this adds a new layer to how they might view Justin Bieber moving forward. Not just as a pop icon delivering hits, but as an artist still navigating his own story in real time. And for Billie, it reinforces her role as one of the most perceptive voices of her generation. She isn't just creating music, she's observing, interpreting, and translating experiences in a way that resonates deeply with audiences. In the end, what really happened at Justin Bieber's Coachella set might not be something that can be fully captured in words or clips. It's one of those moments that exists in the in-between spaces, the pause between lyrics, the glance between beats, the feeling that hangs in the air just a little longer than expected. But thanks to Billie Eilish, we get a glimpse behind the spectacle. Not a scandal, not a controversy, but something quieter and arguably more powerful. A reminder that even in the brightest spotlight, artists are still human, still evolving, still searching for something real. And maybe that's the story worth paying attention to.